A word of warning, I'm gay. My ex-boyfriend is bi. We used to date and he proposed back then, but I told him I wasn't ready to settle down. We were young and he took the breakup hard, so we agreed to support each other during major life events, but otherwise keep our distance. He eventually married a wonderful woman and they had twins, a boy and a girl. Tragically, a few months after the twins were born, his wife passed away. I visited him a few times, but his family was around, so I thought it best to give him space. Over a month after she died, he showed up at my door visibly distraught and begged me to take the kids. He was overwhelmed and I was genuinely worried he might do something drastic, but he said he just needed a break. I thought he'd be gone for a few hours. He left for 2 nights. His struggles continued. I offered him a place to stay for a while. I did it out of friendship. I wasn't trying to take advantage of him. Now he's been living with me for about 2 months and his mother recently confronted me, accusing me of not really helping him, saying he'll get dependent on me to get over his wife and that I'll only hurt him by eventually moving on. She called me selfish and a disgrace for moving in on a widow so soon. She asked if I was doing the deed with him. I was furious and asked her, "Where were you? His wife died and he was left alone with twins. Why was he at my door in such a state? What was so important you had to rush home to?" I stepped up because his family, including you, didn't. Am I the idiot for asking my ex to move in with me after his wife died and for calling out his mother? Not the idiot. You stepped up when his own family didn't. His mom's just salty because you did what she should have. Also, who's watching the twins while she's busy judging? Helping your friend is a great thing you're doing. Be careful not to completely drain yourself though. Opie, your orientation and past aren't why you helped him. Your kind heart is. That's who you are. His mother sees you as his gay ex. Forget her. You saw someone in need and you helped him and his kids out. Do not ever apologize or feel bad for doing the right thing. You are spot on. Where was she? He could have gone to her. He chose comfort and security in you. Hugs to you. You're a good man. Exactly. You helped out of genuine kindness and his mum's opinion is her issue, not yours. Not sure what his financial situation is or if he received any money after his wife's death. You should encourage him to hire a nanny or babysitter for a few hours a week. Kids are tough, and the first year is deathly difficult. I felt more relaxed after age 3. It's possible deep down he wants you back, but since he's vulnerable, allow him to first go through at least 1 year of grieving and counselling. The mother will fall in line if she wants to. You've been a great friend to him, and she has no right to question you at all. I, 33 male, have a pretty big age difference with my brother, 44. He had a child at 25, which means that I became an uncle at 14. Because we were close in age, I formed a special bond with my niece, Ella, now 18. When she was 16, my brother and his family moved away, so I've been seeing them less recently, but we keep in touch and catch up at family events. Last year at Christmas, my niece told me that she had a boyfriend and told me a bit about him, but I didn't know the guy. He was invited for Easter and a couple of other events, but was never able to make it. When we were planning our mother's birthday, my brother decided to invite Ella's boyfriend so that we could all meet him. Yesterday was the birthday. I was looking forward to meeting Mark, Ella's boyfriend, but was very confused when I saw her walk in with a man that looked double her age. Spoiler alert, he is. She introduced him to me, and I politely smiled but was deep down very concerned. I went to my brother to ask how old Mark was, and he told me that Mark is 36, so literally double Ella's age. She had told me that he was a bit older, but I assumed like early to mid-20s, not almost 40. That's when they called us in the living room to share exciting news. Ella showed us a ring and revealed that they were engaged. I just said, "What the heck?" and everyone turned around and looked at me like I was crazy. I told them they were out of their minds if they thought this was normal, that there was no world in which a 30-something should date an 18-year-old and that she shouldn't be getting married. All of them accused me of ruining Ella's happiness. Some even said that I was jealous of Mark, which is so disgusting I can't even explain it. I mean, I'm younger than Mark, but never in a million years would I ever consider dating someone younger than 25. They told me that it was perfectly legal as they were both adults, which isn't true because they've been dating for a year and Ella turned 18 7 months ago, and that if they were happy, that's all that mattered. I told them that they were sick for allowing this and that he was a predator, but they wouldn't listen. I know this isn't my business, but I can't help but fear for Ella. She's young and doesn't really know what she's getting into. I'm really scared about the idea of her getting married and being unable to leave him when she realizes how sick it was. I then left and slammed the door and have been receiving pretty wild messages and calls since then. I don't know if I was wrong for this and I'm just overreacting, and if I wasn't wrong, I don't know what I can do to make them realize how wrong it is. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Thank you for saying that out loud. It's genuinely alarming that none of your family sees what you see, especially your brother. If I'd brought home a 35-year-old when I was nearly adult, my father would have probably ended up in prison. Why doesn't he want to protect his daughter? Because no one is acting like this is wrong. Your niece believes that it's right. Stick to your guns. Tell your family how ashamed you are of them for enabling Mark. Tell your niece that if she ever needs an escape route, you will help her at once. And please warn any other young girls in the family or close to the family that these are not good people. The immediate reaction being to accuse you of jealousy is very telling about their view of young girls. Sounds like projection. If you have children, I'd recommend you keep them very far away from your relatives. I've read so many stories like this where the immediate family of the young girl are very loud with their displeasure of the relationship with a much older man. That reaction often pushes the young girl away from them and into the arms of the man they don't want her with. In her young mind, she must prove them wrong. Her family could be trying to prevent Mark from separating her from them by acting like it's okay so that Mark can't enforce distance to gain more power and control over her. My boyfriend, let's call him Alex, 23, and I, 21 female, have been dating for about 3 years now. We've recently begun talking about marriage and kids, something we both eventually want to have. The other day a reel popped up of cute boy names and I saw the name Everett. I thought it was adorable and jokingly told him how it must be our firstborn's name. He laughed and said he liked it, but it'll have to wait for the second kid. I was confused and asked him why. He told me that his family has a tradition that every firstborn boy in the family has the same name. His oldest brother has it, his uncle has it, his grandfather has it, and so on. For the sake of privacy and how oddly unique the name is, I'm not going to say it. I'm not judging in the slightest, but it is a weird name and it's honestly not my favourite. I would never say that to any of his family members, but I did tell Alex I'm not a huge fan of it. I told him I don't really want to follow that tradition and he got upset and told me he can't be the one to break it. He told me I was being an idiot for suggesting anything else. I told him I won't change my mind and we should make it a middle name or find another compromise. Alex has 5 siblings. The tradition will continue if he doesn't do it. And frankly, I think I should get a say in what I name my kid. I told him since I'm the one carrying the hypothetical child for 9 months and it would already be getting Alex's last name, I should have some say in the first name. For context, I have 2 siblings, both girls. I'm the youngest and my eldest sisters are both married and took their husbands' last names. It makes me a little sad that when I marry Alex, my last name will go out of existence. I've talked to him about hyphenating ours, something he doesn't want to do. But anyway, I really don't want to name our firstborn son, if we ever even have a boy, that name. He thinks I'm whining for no reason, since we don't even have a kid yet and I'm not pregnant, but I think my concerns are valid. I've told some friends about it and most of them think I'm overreacting over something that doesn't even exist yet. So, am I the idiot for telling my boyfriend I don't want to follow his family's tradition? He wants you to give up your own name and your hypothetical child's name all to his family names. Ask him how he would feel if you decided to start your own child naming tradition, you're naming after your oldest sister and giving it your last name. It only sounds ridiculous because women have been conditioned to think a man's name holds some kind of special importance. It doesn't. Find a guy who is happy for you to keep your own last name and for you to name your baby whatever you want. Not the idiot. Your boyfriend is a weirdo. The issue isn't the name, the issue is your boyfriend's attitude toward you having ideas that differ from his. He dismisses your wants and puts his family's tradition ahead of you. To him, it's not even a discussion. That's a little scary. You give 2 examples of him being inflexible, your last name and a baby name. I'll bet you can think of other instances that fit this pattern too. This is a glimpse into your future. Are you sure you want the rest of your life to look like this? This is exactly what I was thinking. Why would OP want to tie herself to someone who thinks that what he wants is how it's going to be and she should just suck it up? What else will he try to lay down the law about as time goes on? Not the idiot, OP, but please do reconsider a future with a man who disregards what you want so easily. I, 25 female, have been best friends with Emma, 26, for over 10 years. We've been through everything together. School, breakups, family drama, you name it. So when she told me she was getting married, I was beyond happy for her. We talked about me being a bridesmaid, and I was excited to be by her side on her big day. A few weeks ago, I got a text from Emma saying that she needed to rethink the bridal party and that I wouldn't be in it anymore. She didn't explain why, just said it was for the best. I was taken aback, especially since we hadn't had any issues lately. I tried asking her what happened, but she just said it was to keep things simple and that I was still invited to the wedding as a guest. Honestly, I was crushed. It felt like she took me out of something that was supposed to be special for us without giving me a real reason. I've been her biggest supporter for years, and I can't help but feel like she's distancing herself from me. I know she's probably stressed with planning, but I didn't expect to be treated this way, especially by someone I thought I was so close to. I decided not to go to the wedding. When I told her, she seemed disappointed, but then said I was overreacting and that I was making it all about me. She said that she still cares about our friendship, but I feel like she's not understanding how much this hurts me. Now I've got other friends telling me I should just go. After all, it's her big day, but I can't help feeling disrespected, and like I'm being asked to pretend everything's fine when it's not. I just don't think I can go and act like nothing happened. So, am I the idiot for not attending my best friend's wedding after she uninvited me from the bridal party? Going to a party after a friendship disaster feels like showing up to a funeral with confetti. Not the idiot, OP. Your friendship has been mortally wounded. If she calls herself your best friend but can't give you the decency of telling you why she no longer wants you in her wedding, then you don't owe her anything either. When is the wedding? Next week? Next month? Next year? We don't have enough info about how far into the planning your friend is. You state she just told you about the change a couple of weeks ago, so I suspect they're early in planning and the wedding is still several months or a year out. If she's such a good friend whom you care about, have you considered that there may be outside factors like money considerations or family pressure weighing on her? Can you be patient for a bit and give her time to sort things out and become less overwhelmed? Maybe then she'll be in a good place to explain what happened, and then you can decide what you want to do based on the additional information. It's not even about the bridal party change. Things happen. You can pick who you want, but if you don't value your friendship enough to be able to have an open and honest conversation with your best friend about the reasons for the change, then you don't value your friendship enough to get upset when they withdraw. I think the bride likely doesn't want to miss out on the gift. What are the odds of OP being ghosted afterward if she went? She's not your best friend. She may have been at one point, even until recently, but she isn't anymore. A best friend would have reassured you and told you the real reason instead of this half-hearted cop-out. I, 32 female, started going out with this guy, 32, 3 months ago because a mutual friend arranged a blind date for us. He's very good looking and funny and we had some good time together, but he continued to try to fix my English. Like I speak a word and he went, "It's pronounced world. Try saying it like this." It happened multiple times during our dates and it really annoyed me. He wasn't correcting my grammar but my pronunciation. I know I have an accent, but the thing is, English isn't his first language either. I'm Brazilian and he's German, and although his accent isn't as strong as mine, he has one as well. After the second date, I told him I'd rather him not correct me because it embarrassed me. He stopped for a few weeks but started again, and when I pointed it out to him, he said he's only trying to help me. So, after a few days, I texted him that we wouldn't work out. The mutual friend that introduced us came to speak with me after and said that she didn't understand why I wouldn't see him anymore because he really liked me and is very sad that I ended things. I told her about this correcting my English thing and that I wanted a partner, not an English teacher. She told me it was a dumb thing to end a relationship over and I should have just talked to him again about it. I admit I'm really torn about this situation now, and maybe an outsider view would help. So, am I the idiot for ending things with this guy? Should I give him another chance? Not the idiot. You asked him to stop and he didn't. It was a very simple request that you clearly communicated, and he wasn't willing to follow that request. It wasn't going to stop with correcting your English, it would have soon spilled onto other things. It was a symbol of him feeling superior and not seeing OP as an equal. It wasn't about the pronunciation. His behaviour is just plain impolite and disrespectful after you already informed him of his rudeness on at least one occasion. Why would you invite someone that is rude and disrespectful to you back into your life? Especially when he behaves like this in the early dating stage. Think how poorly he would behave once he got super comfortable. Nah, it's the German in him. I dated a guy for about 2 weeks who constantly felt the need to correct me on things that he didn't need to, and whenever I went to see others to see if I was wrong, I was always confirmed to be in the right. He was a nice guy, but the incessant need to mansplain and correct everything drove me nuts. There's no need for someone to continue to correct your English, especially when you have told them to stop. I have friends who are ESL and I never correct their pronunciation unless asked to do so.